Okay, now I'm going to talk about the verb tener. That's one of the units in chapter 3. It's also a unit in chapter 2 of the Ariba book. Now, first I want to look at the conjugation of this verb. It is an ER verb that means to have, and you notice the endings are regular ER verb endings, the part at the end. But if you notice in slots 1, 2, 3, and 6, first, second, and third person singular and third person plural, there's something odd in the stem. And in your form it has a G, like the verb aser does in chapter 3. It also has an E to IE stem change going on in slots 2, 3, and 6. This verb, the verb that means to have, is an important verb, and so you're really getting it out of sequence. You don't get the rest of the verbs that have the stem change thing going on until the beginning of elementary 2, really, and the way we currently have the course divided. But the endings are the same. So I have a G in the O form, and it's an E to IE stem change verb in slots 2, 3, and 6. So I have tango for I have, tienes for do you have or you have, tiene, él tiene, he has, ella tiene, she has, usted tiene, you have, mi perro tiene for my dog has, for example. Tenemos is we have, tenéis goes with vosotros, the form we won't use that much, and tienen goes with ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Ellos tienen or ellas tienen both mean they have, and ustedes tienen mean you guys have. And so those are the conjugations of the verb tener that means to have. Now let's talk about some of the ways the verb is used, and then we'll talk about some phrases that are the key component of the unit in chapter 3 that relates to the verb tener. One thing that you would have learned in chapter 2, but we didn't focus on it much, is that tener with a K after it means to have to. For example, if I say, tengo que lavar las ventanas, that means I have to wash the windows. So tener plus K means to have to. Okay. And then the next phrase, tener with años, or a number of years, it's just talking about age. For example, if I say, Eduardo tiene 22 años, Eduardo has 22 years, that means that Eduardo is 22 years old. And so you don't have years old in Spanish, you have has X number of years to express age. Okay, now, I have the main component of the unit in chapter 3 to deal with the verb tener, and here we have phrases that are used with tener to express various things. For example, tener hambre is literally to have hunger. If you remember in English, you don't say I have hunger, you say I am hungry. You use a form of the verb to be with an adjective. But here we have the verb tener that means to have, and it takes a noun after it, not an adjective. So to have hunger, tener hambre. To have thirst, or to be thirsty, tener sed. To be cold, or to have coldness, tener frío. Tener calor means to be hot. Tener miedo means to have fear or to be afraid. Tener sueño means to be sleeping. And this word sueño is a little bit tricky because it can also mean dream. So if I have tener un sueño, that's to have a dream, as in the famous Martin Luther King Jr. speech. But in the phrase we have here, tener sueño, it means to be sleeping. We also have the phrase tener cuidado, which means to be careful or to have carefulness. Tener prisa, to have hurriedness or to be in a hurry. Tener razón is to be correct. In chapter 3, in the 5th edition, they also had no tener razón as one of the phrases to go with this, but tener razón is to have reason or to be correct. No tener razón is to not be correct. And then in version 6 of the Ariba book, they have added this phrase, tener ganas de. And tener ganas de means to feel like. For example, if I say, tengo ganas de ir a la playa, I feel like going to the playa or beach. So this is to feel like doing something. And then I've added one more phrase that's a common one, but it's not in your book, tener celos. And that means to have jealousy or to be jealous.